Hello, ID students. This is Mr. Kapersky, and I am going to walk you through Onshape and help you in creating your puzzle cube part. So your assignment this week is to create part files for all 5 of your puzzle cube parts. So to start, make sure you guys log into Onshape. So if you have not done that yet, you might want to pause the video, open that up, log in, get yourself situated. All right, so to start, right, a lot of this stuff is going to be very, very similar to how Inventor worked. And in some cases, it's actually a little bit easier. So hopefully that might help some of you. Up in the top left corner, you guys are going to go to Create, and you want to go to Document. So when it starts, it's going to ask you to name the file. It would probably be helpful if you guys name the part the number, right? So remember, you guys were, for the parts that you made, you were supposed to give them a number and a color. So I'm going to start out, and I'm just going to call this 1, and I'm going to make it red. Okay. So I type that in, and then I click OK. And it's going to generate a workspace for us, and it's going to look very similar to Inventor. It gives us our work planes. So to start, right, just like we would with Inventor, we need to start with a sketch. Okay, so in the corner here, right, where it says sketch, we want to create a new sketch. And when we do that, it's going to ask us to select a sketch plane. So I'm going to select the front view here. Okay, and as you notice, as soon as I clicked it, I get sketch 1, right? The one thing that Onshape does differently that Inventor kind of helped you with is it reorientated as soon as you created a new sketch. Onshape doesn't do that. So what you're going to need to do in order to kind of orientate the screen so you can draw correctly is to rotate the screen. So over in the corner here, I'm going to click on my front view because that was the work plane that I selected. So I'm going to click front, and that's going to reorientate that for us. Right. What I'm also going to do is I am going to hide the other work planes. So if I go back to my other view here, right? So right now I see the front view, the top view, the other work planes. Over here on the side in your browser, if you leave your cursor over it and a little eyeball appears, if you click that, it will actually hide the visibility for those pieces. So I think on this one, I'm going to hide the top and the right view because I'm drawing on the front. You don't have to do that, but I don't know. For me, it's personal preference. Make it a little bit cleaner. So then I'm going to go back to my orientation here. I'm going to select front. Lets me see everything. Okay. The one thing you guys want to make sure of is with this window that's here, with this little green box with the red X, you want to leave this open. This is think of this as your finish sketch button in Inventor. As soon as you click this, it's going to kind of kick you out of sketch mode. So you want to leave this open and until you're done with the part. Up in the top, you guys have a lot of features that are very similar to how Inventor works. I would suggest using the rectangle tool since all of your pieces are going to be cubes. Right, so I'm going to click this, and again, and this is again my personal preference for how I start any kind of drawing is I always start at the origin. You don't have to, but it's where I start. So based on whatever your sketch is going to look like, you want to draw off of your front view, right? The last thing you guys were supposed to do is draw in your engineering notebooks a top, front, and right side view. So hopefully you have your notebooks. If you don't, you're going to have to kind of recreate some parts. But if you do, that's great. This makes this step a lot easier. So I'm going to click here, just like I would in Inventor, and as I drag out, I get a different size for everything. I'm going to drag it to here, and I'm going to click. And again, just like in Inventor, it gives me kind of a highlighted area for where those dimensions are. So you can automatically type in what you want the size of your part to be. Now I'm going to create a piece here that's kind of like an L bracket. So I'm going to have it 2 cubes long, which would mean that this distance here, this length, if it was 2 cubes long, would be 1.5 inches. So I'm just going to click, right, and type in 1.5. And I just did that on my keyboard, and then I click enter. And then as soon as I hit enter, it kicks me over to the next dimension that I want. And since all of the cubes are 0.75, right, I want that to be the height. So there you go. Okay. And once that's done, I'm going to add on whatever other feature I want. So I'm going to make this kind of like a 3 cube L. I know that's not typically a normal part that you guys would make, but it could be helpful for some of you. So here, right, I'm just going to, my rectangle tool is still highlighted. So I'm just going to click in this corner, note that the icon gets highlighted. So I know I'm clicking that corner. And I'm going to click and drag, and this I'm just going to make a regular cube, so a 0.75 by 0.75 square. So again, I get to a spot, I'm going to hit enter, and click. And when I do that, again, it gives me my dimension options. So I'm going to type in 0.75, I'm going to hit the enter key, kicks me to the other dimension, I'm going to type in 0.75 again, hit enter. Okay. And that's going to be it. That's going to be what I would see on my front view. And if you notice, I can rotate the piece, right? It's still in 2D, and I'm going to have to extrude it. So to extrude it, okay, I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to click extrude. And when you do that, just like an Inventor, it kind of gives you a preview of what the extrusion looks like. Except my depth, I'm going to change that. It defaults to 1 inch, but we obviously want that to be 0.75 because it's a cube. So I just type in 0.75 and I click enter. Right? When I do that, it changes the depth. Okay, and now I can go in and I can click the little green box, and now I'm done with my part. And as you can see, if you hold down the right button on your mouse, you can rotate it just like an Inventor. And that would be your part. Okay. To change the color, right, to change your color, what you can do is if you right click on the part, you get a whole bunch of options here. And down at the very bottom, you have edit appearance for part 1. Okay. And it gives you all of your colors. So you can make this whatever color you want. I said I was going to make it red, so I'm just going to click red. Changes the color. And click the green arrow to confirm it. Okay. Now, if you guys want to add a cube onto this, because it's going to be obviously some of your parts are going to get a little bit more intricate, I'll show you how to do that. So I'm just going to highlight one of the faces, and I'm going to right click on it, go to new sketch, and it's going to create a new sketch for me right on the face of this. Okay, I'm going to reorientate my drawing so that I know what I'm drawing here. And just like last time, I'm going to select the rectangle tool. I'm going to click that far corner, click and drag out, and give myself, now if you do this the right way, and you kind of get it to a snap position, it should automatically grab that 0.75 by 0.75 dimensions, which should make making these parts easier. You don't have to re-enter the dimensions. So if I find that little snap option, I'm just going to click it, and it creates my square for me already. And just like last time, right, my sketch is drawn. I'm going to go back to the extrusion button, right? And again, this doesn't default to 0.75. I kind of wish it would, but just have to type that in again. So my depth, right, I click enter, it does it for me. Yep, it looks good. And I can click the green arrow to confirm. And there's my part. So, like I said, it shouldn't take this too long for you guys to do these pieces. And like I said, I think Onshape, for the most part, for what you have to do for these, makes it a little bit easier than Inventor. So hopefully this isn't too much of a trouble. Obviously, Miss Blanford and myself are available this week to answer your questions. Feel free to email us or schedule a time to video conference with us to help you walk you through some of the Onshape tools if you need help. Now, to submit the assignment, okay, after you guys get the 5 parts done, how are you going to submit this in Google Classroom? You guys are going to share the links with us. So every time you guys create a new part file, there's a special link that Onshape creates for each of your files. So to get the link, you're going to go up in the top right corner here in the blue box where it says share. And when you do that, you have a new window that pops up, and you're going to go to this tab that says link sharing. Right? And you're going to turn on link sharing. And what that does is it creates the document link that we can access, and you're going to copy it. So I'm going to click copy to clipboard. And what you'll do is you're going to paste this into the assignments tab in Google Classroom. So I'm going to show you an example of what that would look like. Yours is going to be a little bit different, but it should be close enough to get you guys to show you where to submit it. All right, so when you open up Google Classroom in the assignment, over here on the right-hand side, you guys should have a add or create option. If you click that, here you have link. So if you click link, it's going to let you add a link. So you guys are just going to add your links for your part file. So by the time this is over, you should have added 5 links to the assignment, 1 link for each part. Okay. That should do it. If you guys have questions, feel free to email Miss Blandford or myself. If you guys try it and you're realizing you have some issues, or you have any questions really on anything, please do not hesitate in reaching out to Miss Blandford or myself. We will try to make ourselves available to you guys as much as possible. We understand this is a new way of communicating with you guys, but hopefully through the video and the assignment, it's kind of an easy way back into the swing of things on this. Okay, great. Have a good day, guys.